Hi, I'm not a magician, but I do have a story of my own disappearing act. If you'd like to hear it, stay tuned. For most of my adult life, I noticed something, and it wasn't such a clear thing that happened for me to realize until in the most recent years. And I noticed that it would happen 90 to 95% of the time. And after a while, I just thought it was just the way it was, the way life was, the way people treated me. And I didn't realize why until just recently. And while I was talking about the energy that you put out there, there's also something that you may be putting out there without realizing it. When I was younger and I was going to school, I was bullied a lot, and I quickly learned that I needed to hide. I needed to be I blend part of the wallpaper and hide behind other kids so that I wouldn't be picked on, or, whether it be the teacher pick on me or somebody else pick on me. And I just felt like I needed to be behind a wall. And I, in a way, kind of be invisible. So I realized in my adult life, anytime I was standing in line, whether it be for coffee or at a store, whatever it was that I was waiting in line for, I would get in line, and the next person that would get in line behind me, or so I thought would be behind me, would always stand right next to me. It didn't matter how many people were in front. I could have 5 people, 3 people, one person, 10 people, and the person would always come, stand right next to me, and then after a few moments, start to wiggle themselves in front of me, in line, basically cutting me in line. And I didn't know what to make of it, but I guess I got so used to it that I didn't even realize that was happening. And in a way, subconsciously just expected that to happen. So I think what happened was I realized that I had wanted to be invisible. Growing up, I had wanted to hide. I did live a shadow life. I did want to blend so that I wouldn't stand out, so that people wouldn't see me. So I think that's what happened, because I would put that energy out there that I'm not here, I'm invisible. And I think that people pick up on that energy, and you're practically invisible to people. You could be here physically, and taking up this physical space, but people don't see you. So I think that it's a very interesting thing, because I was putting out there inadvertently. I mean, I wasn't conscious of doing that, but that was the energy I was giving out. And so people took that energy from me. That's how they read my energy. So isn't it interesting that you become what you do or think, basically what you do, what you think, what you feel. And so I certainly have wanted, growing up, not to be bullied, not to be, not to stand out in any way. So, because that's what saved me a lot of times from, being a victim of another fight or something, because I just wanted to melt. I just wanted to disappear. So that's my disappearing act that I didn't even realize I had a disappearing act. And who knew? I'm a magician, right? So it wasn't until recently that I realized all this, that I started to change my energy. So when I get in line, when I go outside, when I'm walking around, doing whatever I'm doing, I actually feel more grounded. So when people talk about being grounded, I really feel like that's one of the ways that I felt I feel more grounded because I've become a person. I've I'm no longer invisible. I'm no longer a ghost, a shadow. And I actually did share this with someone recently, and I I felt so not enlightened. I felt so, like a weight had been lifted off of me, because not only do I feel better, more grounded, and more of a human being, but I also felt so great about this discovery, because it was very, very liberating to me that was the reason. And it's just something so simple, yet it could be hard. It could be difficult, because it's not something that you may be able to change overnight, or just because you thought it. So I did have to work on that. But all of that to say that I'm very proud of myself, that I have realized what happened and why people do this to me. So it's not that they're doing it to me, it's because that's what I've invited, not in a conscious way, but that's something that we can all do, is to think about the patterns that we go through in life, and think about, what could possibly be triggering something like that, right? So I hope you enjoyed this story, and thanks again for watching.